Salut!
Bonjour!
So in this video we wanted to share kind of different type of things you might like see in France if you ever travel or stay here for a longer period of time.
Yeah, some things might be kind of shocking, you know.
Yeah. Different from your country, different
definitely.
from the US maybe, or any other country actually.
Yeah, some things are very unique here in France.
Yeah.
Hi guys! We have some ebooks and e-courses you can learn French with, but first,
Make sure you try our free e-course at StreetFrench.org.
So let's start with TV. You were kind of
Yeah.
shocked whenever I watch a French TV show.
Yeah, or even like
Talk show.
like those cooking shows. Yeah, it's like, oh no.
Yeah,
it's kind of
true.
weird. Yeah, we don't have a TV actually, but sometimes we're at Maya's parents' house and I try to watch French TV just to see what's going on, you know? And then they swear a lot. And in the US, where I'm from, you can't swear on TV at all, really. I mean, there are some words that you can say, but like the F word and stuff like that, it's just, yeah, I thought that was kind of odd or, you know, very different.
They try not to swear, but if they want to, they will. But we don't have the bleeping thing. Like they will never cancel or censor a swear word.
Really? What do? They just like let it go?
They just leave it, yeah. And that's why it's funny in like talk shows when they have American like actors, and usually they like to make them swear a little bit. The guest will be kind of uncomfortable when they want to say a swear word, but they know that in the States they can't. And usually le présentateur.
The host.
And so the host will say, "Oh, okay, you can say whatever. This is France. Oh, it's okay." And usually they joke around with it, so it's really funny.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
So another thing is the alcohol, I guess, the relationship to alcohol in France.
Yeah.
So first of all, the legal age to be able to drink is 18 and not 21 in some other countries.
Yeah.
And also we're used to like being around alcohol, I guess, since very young, because like everyone's drinking wine and you can
it goes with the food. It's not like I don't know, it's just looked at differently, I find, here in France. How old were you when you first tried alcohol?
I mean, I was a kid. Like my parents let me try maybe a little bit of wine, like everything. I'm sure I had a sip of champagne, a sip of wine.
But like how old?
I was like maybe 2 years old. I don't know. Like
2 years old?
Yeah, it's really in Croatia.
No, but like the last time, the time you can remember.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know.
Like for sure you tried it. Like what, 9, 10, 12?
No, even younger than that. Because there was always alcohol on the table, wine, I would sometimes try it. So maybe the earliest I would remember. It's very different, I know.
Yeah, okay. So even now, like, I'm shocked.
Yeah,
like,
you're shocked.
I didn't know you were like 2.
They always make like kids try because it's funny. Like they're like, they don't like it.
Oh, they don't make kids try it. They let them try it.
Oh, sorry. That's a mistake I make a lot in English, because in French it's faire essayer, faire goûter, so it's make.
Yeah, it means to let someone try.
Yeah, to let someone try. It's not forcing.
Yeah.
Sorry, but they let you try when you're younger because it's just a funny thing.
Okay.
It's a cultural thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But usually kids don't like it, so it's fine. But it doesn't mean I wanted to drink when I was a teenager later on. Like next time I really had a drink. And I was like, oh, I'm tipsy. Or maybe I was like 14, you know, so it was way later. But I had one drink, I don't know, half a glass of cocktail. Or how is it in the States?
Like not a drop until you're 21. But I've heard that it's different. Like it's kind of difficult because you're just expected to know how to drink when you're 21, and that's why people go crazy when they're in college. Because they never like grew up with alcohol, they don't really know, you know, how to do it, how to drink like in moderation, and so it's interesting.
But maybe that's why when we see people drink for lunch or for dinner, you see 1 glass or 2, and that's enough, and you know that it's a limit because they need to drive. So I guess you said like learning the limits. And maybe we'll learn like that, I guess.
Yeah, for me, I remember doing like a little like research paper at university. It was, French people or people who grow up like drinking alcohol, they learn to drink in moderation and not like too crazy and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
But yeah, something interesting about living in France is there's no tipping when you go to a restaurant or to a bar. You don't have to leave a tip. Which
you can do it, you don't have to.
Yeah, if the person goes really above and beyond, and it's okay to leave them a tip, but in general we don't really do it.
Oh, another thing we do a lot, if you're a little bit sick if you're a little bit sick and you're starting like to have a flu or something, you don't want to go to the doctor and pay for everything and have the crazy medication, you can just go to the pharmacy and tell your symptoms and ask for something. They can ask for advice, or maybe they can suggest a little, like some smaller type of medication where you don't need the what is it called, l'ordonnance?
Like a prescription.
A prescription. So that's something I do a lot, and a lot of people do, and I don't think you can do that in the States or maybe in other countries.
Maybe you can. I don't know. I've never done it. I've never heard of anyone doing it. But like one time you had a problem with your eye, like you had, and then we were like, okay, we're going to the pharmacy, and like it was the middle of the night, and then the pharmacist is like looking at your eye, and he's like, okay, we'll take this.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes I always like to check, like not panic, just check with the people working in the pharmacy, and they will either give you something or tell you, oh, okay, you need to go to the hospital right now. So they know what they're doing and they studied, and they're not just selling, like, c'est pas juste des vendeurs, like sellers,
they're not just
salesmen, or
they're not just selling medication, like
they're studied, like they know what they're talking about. Yeah,
we have those too in the US, but usually they're like in the back in like the real pharmacy section. But
it's funny because pharmacies in the States, or they sell candy and makeup, it's so different from here, Here it's like only medication.
Okay, that is interesting. Okay, so a dish that people like here is basically like raw meat, and it's seasoned, and it's supposed to be really fresh.
Raw ground meat.
Yeah, what's it called? Boeuf tartare?
Steak tartare.
Steak tartare. Yeah, and then so it's sometimes they put a raw egg in the middle too.
Everything's raw.
Yeah. And I will admit that it tastes good, but psychologically I can't really eat it. I can't get over the fact that it's raw meat.
Even though we can eat raw fish, like sushi, sashimi, but this is kind of hard.
Yeah, well, I guess because I grew up eating sushi, so it's a little bit different. Also, there's raw milk cheese, which I really like, and it can be quite difficult to find that in the United States. There are some places like Whole Foods and those kind of stores that have it now. But
isn't it like forbidden?
It's not exactly like against the law to have it, because I know some stores have it, but it's just not really a common thing to find. And I think those are the best cheeses.
I don't think people would buy them anyway, because they're very stinky and they're very strong. But
no, ça a du caractère.
C'est
différent. So something else that was really interesting is how much people smoke cigarettes here in France. You can smoke anywhere outside, pretty much. You can smoke if you're at a cafe, like on the terrace. I forget how to say that. Like the
outside in front of the cafe,
patio kind of area in front of a cafe. You can smoke there, no problem.
I remember in high school, we would have little breaks between classes, or a bigger break, and people would smoke in front of the high school. So you can't do that.
No, but States, not even people, but like students smoke cigarettes a lot, which
and the professors too. They come out to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, like they smoke with the students.
Yeah.
Even though the age is supposed to be 18, right? To smoke cigarettes.
Oh, I don't know that actually.
Okay.
I wonder if it's not 16.
Yeah, I heard it just got raised in California to 21.
Oh, actually. Yeah, I heard that.
Which is interesting.
Interdire vente au-dessous de 18 ans. Ouais, t'as raison. So yeah, I just checked, and I guess it is like forbidden to sell cigarettes to kids under 18 years old, but I don't know how they did it. I guess they look older, or maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe.
But I see kids smoking all the time, like high school students. It's kind of weird.
So another thing that kind of surprised you when I told you is, so when we moved in together, I didn't really want to have a TV because I don't watch it anyway. You didn't want one either. You maybe wanted one for like to play video games. But I didn't want to buy a TV because we had to pay another tax on top.
Or we would have had to pay.
We would have had to pay exactly another tax for having the TV because it pays for the public
programs and stuff like that, like the news or whatever. Yeah.
So that's different. I don't know. Do you have that in your country? Maybe not.
So another thing here in France is people don't give hugs. Like for me, when I see a friend, like usually I'll give them a hug if it's a female friend, like or whatever. Like people my age, like it's called like the college hug or whatever.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then so you give a hug and it's okay. And people don't do that in France, and it's actually kind of weird. One time I gave like a French friend a hug, and he like the person was like looking at me like really weird.
It's funny because so in France we do the famous bise, la bise, and that's kind of intimate. But actually for us to give a hug is way more intimate. So another thing would be when you want to go see a doctor, you will take your appointment, get there, and it's an apartment building, and then you get inside and it's also like an apartment, like a regular apartment turned into an office but for a doctor, and they have all their tools and everything is clean and sanitized. How do you say sanitized like no problem. But it can be kind of surprising if you're used to going to hospitals or I don't know, more medical type of buildings.
And so something that kind of continues to be a challenge for me is that stores are often closed on Sunday, and you can't really do grocery shopping. There are a few stores that are open now, but like a year ago everything was closed and you couldn't.
More and more like stores are closed. I mean for Paris, like Paris is so different from other cities around France. In Paris, things are open way longer, or sometimes on weekends you can find stuff. But if you go to another city, no way. Like everything's closed after 5 or 6, and then on weekends, as you say, there's nothing.
Or specifically Sunday, really.
Specifically Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because it's kind of ironic. I mean, it's not ironic, but because why is Sunday so important? It's like God's day, right? But France, it's such a how do you say laïque?
Like secular?
Oh yeah, it's such a secular country, so it's kind of funny that Sunday, which is God's day, that's not why things are closed anymore.
Well, now it's because it's like a family day.
And also because there's a huge book with all the rights for the French workers, and French workers are really, really protected as much as possible, even though it's changing a little bit. So that's why we have all these like paid vacations and things like that, and the Sunday is also really important.
Yeah, and I think it costs a lot more to have someone work for you on Sunday.
You have to pay them twice as much.
Yeah, and then also it costs more like after like at night, like it costs more
also,
as well.
it's twice as much, like you pay them double.
Yeah, so that is also why things are not open on Sunday.
Okay, last one is really interesting. I just found out, I didn't really know about it. I was just making some research, and actually in France, apparently in France you can marry someone who died. And I guess people did that for like, comment tu dirais, des raisons plutôt civiques, tu vois, d'héritage, des choses comme ça.
Oh, it's like for like an inheritance, or like for like legal purposes. Like.
Exactly, yeah. They do it for romantic, but it's more for like legal reasons, such as like inheritance and
an inheritance.
An inheritance. So when you're like married, let's say, when the marriage is done, it's not in a church though. Like I don't think you can do that in church. It's just for at the town hall.
At City Hall.
At City Hall.
Yeah.
And you're immediately proclamé comme veuve.
Proclaimed as a widow or widower.
Exactly. So it's kind of strange, but that's a kind of unique thing you can do in France.
But yeah, so that just about does it for this list. If you guys know of any more things that make living in France really unique, let us know down in the comments below. And we'll see you guys next time.
Ouais. Salut! Bye!
If you enjoy learning French with us, consider supporting us on Patreon. It would really help us keep creating more content and French lessons here on YouTube for you guys.
Yeah, for only $2 a month, you could interact with us. You would have access to our live streams that are just for our patrons, and you could also ask us any French-related questions you may have. You could pay more and get more rewards if you like, but $2 gets you in.
You'll find the link down in the description box.